Good.
Mommy's spot. You're good, just... Yep. Good job. You want to give us just enough room on that side. A little bit. Turn to your left. A little bit. All right.
For this side and then one for the other side. What do you got that camera on? We had the trailer attached to the truck and we jacked up the back. We got it on 2 jack stands on part of the frame, just high enough so we could get the tires clear from the ground. Then we unhitched from the truck after we felt it was stable, and just by jacking that up enough to release the ball or get above the ball, that was enough to suspend the trailer so the tires are off the ground on both sides. And I just gave this a pretty good shake test. I'm going to do it again. So you can see it's pretty solid. So it ain't going anymore. So the goal here is to, we're going to replace these tires tomorrow. So now I'm going to lube up all these lug nuts with some WD-40, aka Whiskey Dick. Here we go. That's hillbilly terminology, in case any of you softies get offended. This is not a PG-13 channel, just so you know. But we also ain't here to make anybody cry. So,
I'll go right a little bit.
oh, big daddy long-legged spider just popped off of there.
Just a bit and then turn right.
He ain't bothering nobody. They always do this, and then this is penetrating oil.
Straight, just straight.
And then I'm gonna fire up the compressor, so I'm gonna shut the camera off for a minute until that charges, because it's gonna be kind of loud. All right, so this is gonna be Jake's first time using an impact wrench. So us old school guys, we used to call this an impact wrench. Some people call it an impact gun. Some people call it an impact tool. Does he make your faces?
Yeah.
But for us professional homesteaders, we're gonna call this an impact gun. So he's gonna go ahead and lefty-loosey these off of here, and we're gonna get all 5 tires off. Go ahead, Jake. You don't have to wait for me. Push the socket on just a smidge. Make sure it's lined up. There you go. Just put them on the fender. Good job. And there's no order. You could take them all off any way you want. All right, so howdy, folks. So listen, I just wanted to explain to some of you non-technical people out there what we actually had to go through to do this job. In a nutshell, we're replacing all 5 tires on this trailer, including the spare, which is right in front of me, and the 4, I'm going to call them drive tires, but trailer tires. We're up, these are 225 75R15s, and these are load range E, which is a 10-ply tire, meaning these tires can carry a lot more weight and handle a lot more weight than, load range D or C tires. So basically, we zing these off with the impact tool, which I mentioned earlier, and we are going to be using this to put them back on. I just wanted to explain to you, this is not NASCAR, so we're not trying to, get in the pit crew, nothing like that. So my compressor's already charged up, but I just want to show you what the difference is here. So right now I have this set at the highest setting. To pull, and granted, I took the socket off. I don't want it to fly off. I just want to show you the difference in how we do this. So when you go to remove the nuts, the lug nuts, you're going to have this on the highest setting. You can hear how that sounds, right? So when we go to put these back on, I'm going to turn this down from 4 to 2. You're going to hear the difference. All right. So you can hear the difference. So what's going to happen here is we're not going to be putting these on so tight where you're not going to be able to get them off. So here's one of the lug nuts. Now your lug nut has to go on. It's directional. You see the taper? Maybe hard to see, but this end that's pointing up is tapered. That's got to go into the wheel, into the rim. Now, let me give you a close-up here real quick. Put this down for a half a second. So what I also did is I took an anti-seize compound and put it on the lug nuts. I mean on the lug studs right here. You see all that silver compound? That's an anti-seize compound. So what's going to happen with that is it's going to, when I put the nut on, it's going to basically lubricate or coat the inside of the threads with the anti-seize compound. But what's that gonna do? That's gonna, the next time you go to take these off, it might be a few years, that's gonna inhibit any kind of rust or corrosion in between the threads of the stud and the threads of the nut. And it's gonna allow you to get them off relatively easy. So I'm just gonna show you real quick. So I got this set, I don't have my glasses on, but I got it set down. And we're gonna zing it on. So you can hear the softness of the gun, the pneumatic, the amount of air that's going in to actuate this gun. So I'm gonna quickly zing all of them on, and my son's gonna torque them tomorrow, which the torque setting on these is gonna be about 115 foot-pounds. My son's gonna torque them tomorrow while I'm at work. So that's good, no big deal. And for now, I'm just gonna pop them on, and that'll be it for tonight. So now what I want to explain to you also is you never ever put these nuts inside that socket and try and start these on like you see in NASCAR. Those are special lug nut applications. You always start these on a few thread by hand, just like so. And I put the anti-seize on a little liberal. It might get on, it might kind of fly off a little bit. It gets messy. But start these on a few because you do not want to cross thread these. Meaning if you start these crooked, they're going to be ruined. And more than likely you'll have to replace the nut and the lug itself. And that just will be a lot more work for you. So you also do this in a cross pattern. So basically I'm doing this one-handed here. I did one and then one across. I did one. Now you go across. Do one. Get it on there. Try not to block the camera. And that's that for that one. Now this is the same concept as changing the tire on your car. So I know a lot of you people have not changed the tire on your car. So I just want to explain changing the tire on your car first before I finish this up. So what you would do, more than likely, if you had a flat tire on your car on the road, okay, what you would do is take your lug wrench, which is a hand wrench, a 4-way wrench, or a tire iron, and you would break loose these nuts one at a time by hand. You don't take them all the way off, but with the tire resting on the ground, you loosen these nuts. Okay? Now, once those are all loose, then you get your jack underneath the car and you raise the car until the tire is off the ground. Now, you have to find the right spot to raise the car, to place your jack. Some of these modern cars, you can do some damage if you don't do it properly. But you would elevate the tire off the ground, take the remainder of the nuts off at that point, then you'd be able to pull your wheel off of the spindle and put your spare tire on, which you should have gotten your spare tire out first and foremost, because you don't want to be like moving the car around too much while the car is in the air and with no wheel on there. The chances of falling off the jack are pretty good. Also, when these things are in the air, Now we happen to have jack stands underneath holding these up, which is relatively safe. But when you're out on the side of the road, never ever trust your jack. So you're not going to put your legs or limbs underneath that car. Never ever crawl under a car that's up on just a jack. Never ever trust that jack. It can and will kill you. When that car falls on you, you will not get that car off of you. Just safety point of the day. So once you put your nuts back on, while the tire's still up in the air, you're going to turn them nuts with the wrench as far as you can until the tire starts to spin. Once you do that to all the lug nuts, you then will drop your car down back on the ground so the tire has the gription of the road or the wherever you're at. And hold on, something was biting me. And then you will tighten them by hand with the lug wrench. So that's your tire changing tip of the day. All right, folks. So that's how you change a tire. That's how you change 5 tires on a trailer. Now, these tires weren't as bad as my landscape trailer tires, which you could see in the video. But I did save 2 of these that I had replaced over the years due to flat tires, nails, what have you. Because the upcoming, there is tire shortages right now. So I saved those 2. And the same thing with my camper tires and my other trailer tires. If there was any I saved that were good, just in case for spares. If I had some kind of major blowout and couldn't get these tires again for some reason, at least I have a couple that I can throw on. So I guess that's about it. Be prepared, people. Be prepared. There's some bad days coming and you want to be ready for it. So I guess that's all I got to say about that. Any questions, feel free to comment. I've been doing this stuff most of my life. So anyway, be safe. Anytime you deal with heavy equipment, cars, tires, brakes, anything you're doing, be safe. Take the time to put jack stands under. Even on the road, when you jack a car up, you can, when you get the first tire off, you can throw that tire on the ground, slide it underneath the car, because if for some reason you did stick your leg under there and the car fell, it's going to hit the rim of that tire before it crushes your leg. And then you probably got to amputate it or be stuck there if you're alone. Use your nugget. God gave you this. Use it. Be safe. Look at that sky. Look at them clouds. Beautiful.